everybody. It's going to be kind of a weird day. Got a few more rows done on my blanket and fixing to change out colors again. Here in a little bit I'll be hanging stuff out on the line so that everything gets dry, because we're going to have a nice warm day today, which is weird for this time of year to be having 70, 80 degree days in November. But so there's that. And getting the laundry done is all the energy I'm going to have for the day. It's a very low energy day. And I'm having problems bearing my weight on my legs, so that means it's also a walker day. But really what I wanted to talk about today, okay, we all know the political situation. And I have made quite clear that my opinion of Donald Trump is not very good. I try not to get involved in all of the gossipy stuff, because more and more just keeps coming out and it's just so awful. But on the subject of gossip, have you noticed that any family that is public, if they're a celebrity, if they're a member of a royal family, if they're a member of a political family, people seem to think that it's their right, their God-given right, to know every little detail about their lives and to judge them and just do a lot of hate speech about them. And I'm trying to word this very carefully, because as y'all know, I do have a real inclination towards being judgmental of a certain president of ours. And I try to leave his family out of the situation, because as far as I'm concerned, the kids and the grandkids, they're only responsible for what they do, not for what their father did and grandfather did. So, then we get over to the British royal family and all the stuff that the scandals that have come out recently. And the thing that I was always so angry about with the royal family, I had a lot of sympathy for William and Harry and Princess Anne, but not so much for the rest of the royal family, because they threw Diana under the bus constantly, from the point at which she and Prince Charles were dating until the day and even after, when she was killed in the car accident. And there was such a spectacle at her funeral. Well, they're royals, so it's going to be a big state event, and millions of people are going to see it. But my heart broke for Prince William and Prince Harry that day, because they were just told, buck it up and be a man today. And we don't have a choice. We're going to do this. Then the two boys decide that they're going to get married. And I noticed straight off the bat, first, because William and Kate took so long in their engagement before she got married to him. The tabloids were just really horrendous to Kate. But then once they were married, she was like the people's princess all over again. So, lo and behold, Harry decides to settle down. And he does not pick the person that the royal family wants him to pick. He falls in love with an American woman who is a fairly well-known actress of a pretty popular show about a bunch of lawyers called Suits. Well, they started throwing Meghan Markle under the bus. From the moment Harry met her, and even today, everybody wants to spill the tea about Meghan and treat her like she's not even a real person. They are horrible to her. She and Harry came to America to get away from all that bullshit in England. And here on YouTube, we got all these people that are so willing to spread hate about Harry and Meghan. Some of them are all about uplifting Princess Kate and Prince William. Well, William and Kate are going to be the next king and queen of England. So I don't mind the fact that people want to, say that they're really great people. They happen to be very well qualified for the job that they're going to inherit. And they will make a much better king and queen than Charles and his mistress, Camilla, ever did. Ever were. But there's one thing that is going to detract from them being the best king and queen of England. And that's the way they treat Harry. Because Harry is not married to who they want him to be married to. And Harry chose to leave being a working royal and to immigrate to the United States for the safety of his wife and his children. Of course, Lilibet was born here in the United States. Archie was born in England. But doesn't matter. Archie and Lilibet are both prince and princess over in England. Whether or not Prince Harry and Duchess Meghan decide to allow their children to use those titles. Another thing that has happened recently has been the basically the official stripping of Prince Harry and Meghan as their titles of being Duke and Duchess of Sussex. Well, Sussex is still their last name, but they're no longer. It's weird. And the thing of it is I have seen how all this constant hate wears down on Harry and Meghan. It would wear down on you and me to be constantly being talked about and maligned and demeaned in that way. A lot of us go through that anyway because we're either not the right race. Like me, I'm mixed indigenous, so I'm not enough white and I'm not enough native to fit in either place. So I get a lot of that, being put down because I'm not good enough. And I've learned to be content with who I am and where I am. I don't know that Megan's ever been given that chance to be content with who and what she is. She grew up in a family that was in the industry. Her father was, well, both her father and mother, worked in the industry. They were, I think, behind the scenes more, but, and so she grew up knowing what Hollywood was like. And she's a strong woman and a very opinionated woman, and she has a heart that is so compassionate and caring for other people, which is why when they started Archwell, that that foundation has so many causes to help, so many things that they do to help other people. Their charity foundation that Harry and Meghan started. You and I, we may not be wealthy enough to have these big foundations to help people. We might not wear Louis Vuitton and Cartier and all these fancy designers clothing and jewelry. But that's not what makes people people. How much money you got and how fancy your clothes are, that doesn't mean anything. It's the character of the person underneath. And so what I want to say is that when we are spreading hate about people, when we are gossiping about people, when we are talking about them in a way that is not positive, especially when we don't know them personally, or what they're doing, saying and doing is not affecting us. What Donald Trump does and says affects every American because he's the president. He puts himself out there and makes of himself fair game because what he's saying and what he's doing is affecting all of us. And the difference here is that what Harry and Meghan do, it didn't affect any of us. We don't necessarily know them, and what they say and do doesn't have anything to do with us. It doesn't affect us. It's not our business. What I say and do may not affect you. I hope that what I say and do is inspiring and is positive and uplifting. I know it's not always, but I do try. But I'm human. And you're human. And it doesn't matter to me what color skin you got, what religion you got, what politics you got. That doesn't change you being human. It doesn't change your need to be loved and cared about and to have your needs met. Those things don't change. And I think that one of the things we often forget is that we're all part of the universe. We're all part of the one. In the Bible, Jesus said, we are all the sons and daughters of God. We are God's. He's taught that we were all part of the I Am, the one that created it all. And if we're all part of the same being, why are we all fighting against each other? Why are we all trying to destroy each other if we're all part of this massive overmind, this massive whatever we want to call God? If we're all part of God, why are we fighting against each other? Doesn't make any sense to me. If we're all part of God, why are we talking against each other and saying these hateful things? Doesn't make sense. But so anyway, that's just my thoughts on spilling the tea on celebrities. What does it accomplish? What good does it do? What does it bring the earth that is positive? I can't see anything. Can you? Just the entertainment factor? How can we be entertained by somebody else's misfortune? How can we be entertained by people having arguments in their family? Those things are none of our business. Well, have a great day and have a wonderful weekend, and I will talk at you when I check in again. Love y'all. Bye-bye.